Welcome back, everyone. This is GTA Failer. We pick up where we left off, not last video, but two videos ago. So just to remind you that I did things a little bit out of order in terms of the edited version of these last two videos, but in this save file, we have completed Sayonara Salvatore, then we grabbed the BF injection, brought it to the import-export garage in Shoreside Vale, this island that we're on, and then I drove a limo right here and now I'm taking the Dodo over to the green phone icon on the map, and we will start a brand new chain of missions, the King Courtney missions. First, I'm going to read the last parts about Don Salvatore Leone from the wiki. Many aspects of Salvatore's character and backstory are based on that of real-life John Gotti. Both men became boss after a power struggle in the mid-80s. Both have escaped conviction several times. Both of their lawyers also claimed in court that their client was not part of the mafia. Leone's original name in the beta version of GTA 3 was Frankie Sorvino. This name was presumably a reference to his voice actor, Frank Vincent, and to Frank Pantangeli from The Godfather 2, whom Salvatore bears resemblance to. And then finally, Salvatore's eyes are blue in GTA 3, but they are brown in the other two games, San Andreas and Liberty City Stories. Okay, so I'm going to save my game over here by the phone icon, and I'm actually going to hush while we watch this cutscene. I usually talk over them, but this is our introduction to King Courtney, and he uses a lot of, mostly English, like in English, but a lot of Jamaican street slang. And I just want to hush so you can take a look at what he says or hear what he says and look at the subtitles because oftentimes the Jamaican street slang is not translated directly word for word in the subtitles. Check it out.
This is King Courtney. Me yachty posse could do with them rude boy driver and people is saying you the man. Get to the waste ground opposite the stadium in a car and wait for the other hopefuls. I've got been watching checkpoints all over stopping. First driver to a checkpoint gets the bling bling. Then it's on to the next stop. If you get more checkpoints than any other driver, I can have me a little work for you.
Okay, so hopefully you were able to see some of the differences between the words that King Courtney was saying and then how they appeared on the transcription down below. Wasn't an exact translation all the time. Okay, so basic premise here is there's going to be a checkpoint and three racers along with me, so four racers total. Interesting here, check out the coach in the background. It's going to disappear. I think it's programmed in any vehicle that might be in the way of one of the three racer vehicles that we're going to face. It's always a cheetah, a patriot, and a bobcat. Any vehicle that's in the way is despawned, so that there's no problems and this cutscene gets to end. So we're all going to be heading towards the same checkpoint. It's marked on the map there and further down this road, a little bit south of where we are. And once one of us gets that checkpoint, that driver will get credit for the checkpoint, and then the next checkpoint will appear on the map. And then we just keep racing around the map, and there's 15 checkpoints in all, and you don't need to get a majority. You don't need to get 8 out of 15 to win. You just need to get more than anybody else, any of the other three racers. Okay, so while we're doing this kind of vanilla, our first attempt at this, let's read a little bit about this mission from the wiki. Again, this is our introduction to King Courtney. I'll read about him a little bit in this video. The only ways to fail this mission are the standard, wasted or busted, but also not getting the most, whatchamacallit, checkpoints. You fail if you don't come in first place here. The reward is $1,000 per checkpoint that you get, but I think you only get the reward if you win. I guess I should have looked at that. Maybe you can look at it in the video because I will lose and show you what happens when I lose. So maybe we'll see if I get the $1,000 per checkpoint, even if I'm not the winner. But anyway, you need to get the most checkpoints out of everybody to pass the mission, and 1,000 per checkpoint for each of the checkpoints you collect. This mission is unlocked by Sayonara Salvatore by completing that mission, and it only unlocks the next phone mission. Here I'm waiting. It's kind of silly. Like I should have just played this one vanilla, but I was trying to group my three other racers together so that I could turn around and grab this one that I knew was going to spawn basically directly behind me. I didn't get it because the other two cars were close to that where that checkpoint was going to be. Um, the checkpoints all spawn in very particular places. I don't think they can spawn randomly around the map. I think it's like the same 15 places. The order is not always the same, but it's also not a random order either. You're going to keep seeing the same patterns over and over again. I think there's very few patterns for how these 15, what the order is of the 15 checkpoints. Okay, and this mission right here is one of three repeatable missions. Remember Turismo, the race that we got in the Hepburn Heights telephone chain, is repeatable after you complete the entirety of that telephone chain. And the same thing is true of this race. It's not like the traditional race, but anyway, once we complete all four of King Courtney's missions, including this one, we can repeat this mission as much as we want. And I think that there's a statistic letting you know how many checkpoints you got as your record. So you're welcome to try to continue to break your record after you've beaten all the King Courtney missions. And again, this is one of three repeatable missions in the entire game. All right, and I think that might be about it for the wiki. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so the first checkpoint that we get is always in the same place. It's just the place you saw me pick up this first checkpoint here. And the last checkpoint is also always in the same place. It's basically where the blue marker was for me to start the race, like just north of the stadium. That's always the last checkpoint. And it's the other ones where the order is somewhat variable. And I'll also point out that sometimes the other racers seem more interested in clobbering my vehicle than in actually getting the checkpoints. And that can make things difficult. For example, right here, my car is blown up, not just because they clobbered me, but from me running into other stuff, other vehicles and hazards and things. But yeah, sometimes they prioritize ramming me, even if they could easily get a checkpoint nearby. All right, so let's keep on reading, shall we? Let's go to King Courtney. This is our introduction to King Courtney. So again, reading from the wiki. So King Courtney's nationality is Jamaican. His girlfriend is Queen Lizzie. At least that's the hypothesis. Like Queen Lizzie will get mentioned in this video in one of the cutscenes. I am having all kinds of problems here. Um, and it says here from the wiki, he's a character in the GTA series who appears as an unseen main character and minor antagonist in GTA 3, and a main character and the secondary antagonist in GTA Advance. Okay, so what does it say? You came in first with 11 successful checkpoints. $11,000 is the reward. Again, it's $1,000 per checkpoint when you pass. Excellent. Okay, so we're just going to start and repeat, and I'll just show you highlights here with a bunch of short clips and just a couple of long ones. I'll show you the sort of full attempts on, but here I'm just showing you that I've reloaded my save, and now we're doing the cutscene, and I think we're just going to cut right now to the next part. So here I tried, these guys get stuck quite often. I tried getting in just to see if I could pull this guy out, and the answer is no. Then we're going to try to blow up this vehicle. So you recall in Therese mode, all three of the opposing cars are bulletproof. And so we could not destroy them, but here you can. And also you don't fail for destroying the other cars. So one strategy could be to blow up one or two or all three of your opponents. I'm not going to end up doing that, but it'd be pretty straightforward to blow up all three of your opponents. Here is weird. So it happened that I was in whatever car I'm in here, the one that starts multi-story mayhem, and I was nearby the stallion. I was nearby the start of it, so I accidentally started. It seemed like the race had ended, but the mission didn't end until I got back into my vehicle. It was sort of odd because I know I'm going to end one of these mission attempts in this video while I'm on foot. So it doesn't seem like I need to be in a vehicle for the mission to end, but it was kind of weird. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is a somewhat long clip, but it'll be in double speed. I think it's double speed. Okay, so here is my plan. This is going to be quite involved. My plan, I think I'm testing, is can I win with the fewest amount of checkpoints mathematically possible? What's the least number of checkpoints I could get and still win, meaning have more than anybody else? And then can I actually make that happen? Can I implement that? So at this point in recording the footage, I didn't know whether or not a tie, like if I tie for first place, would that pass the mission? So I didn't know. I was operating under the assumption that a tie would not pass the mission for me. So let's do a little bit of math here, kids. 15 checkpoints. In order to get the least number possible and still have more than anybody else, I would need to have 5. And then the opposing cars could either have 4 and 4 and what do we have? 3. Wait, I'm not doing that. 4 and 3 and 3. So I get 5, they get 4, 3, and 3 in some order, and then I win with the most. Or I get 5 and they get 4, 4, and 2 in some order. And those are the only possibilities in order for me to get 5 and have more than anybody else. And it turned out to be quite challenging to try to actually win with 5 checkpoints. So this was my best attempt at it. But I haven't been describing what I'm doing here. It's clear that I'm not trying to like get my 5 right away. What I'm actually trying to do is keep track of who is getting all of these checkpoints here at the start. And I literally was writing down on a piece of paper because I couldn't keep track. And so, for example, in this particular run, the Patriot, I think, got the first checkpoint. It was hard to know because I was in the process of getting clobbered and doing like a 720 spin. And then the Patriot got the second checkpoint. And then I think the Cheetah got the third one. And then the Bobcat got the fourth one. And then the Bobcat got the fifth one. And then the Cheetah got the sixth one. So at that moment, I think, if I kept accurate track, the other 3 vehicles I'll have two, two, and two, which is perfect because I'm really trying to like evenly distribute these other checkpoints, not my 5, but all the other 10. And then after the what happened, the Cheetah got their second one. I said, okay, we're going to go for 4, 4, and 2 with the other drivers, and I'll get 5. And so I blew up the Cheetah. You saw that like a minute ago in this clip. But while I was busy blowing up the Cheetah, the other 2 vehicles were pursuing the other checkpoints, and I was very far away from them. I couldn't see who got them, and so I was desperately hoping and that the checkpoints were going to be evenly distributed amongst those other 2. And I did, blow each of the other 2 vehicles up at some point, and then I casually get the rest of them. But here, I don't know. I mean, I know I'm going to get 5. I don't know if it's going to be a win for me at 5 or like a tie. Somebody else got 5. You came first with 5 successful checkpoints. Again, you do not realize how many attempts that took because I've hidden it all. But that was tougher than it looked to do that testing and try to figure things out. Um, yeah. Okay. So here's the same warning message we got when we tried to start Turismo without a car. So you got to have a car to get in that blue marker and start things up. All right. And then here you're going to see me get harassed by this Patriot who's just going to follow me. Like he's not driving towards the checkpoint anymore. I'm trying to swerve all around to get out of his way. And he says, nope, you are what I want. And then we'll also see a couple of vehicles just totally stuck, driving up the stairs there across the street. Um, okay. Yeah. So quite challenging to try to win with 5, but it is possible. And you saw it there. Okay, and then here you can see that came in second with 6. So it's not about like how many can you get. Like I won with 5 and I lost with 6, and also I ended with without being in a car. Here I waited. Look, so these vehicles are hardly moving. It's like they're hibernating. And then like the Bobcat isn't really stuck. I'm gonna get him unstuck, and he's still not gonna move. Look, there's the Cheetah up there too. So what I did to break these guys is I just hung out at the start line. The race started, I didn't move. What I wanted to see is if the game was gonna give me, and then watch when the Bobcat gets the checkpoint, that wakes up the Cheetah. Like what is happening here? What I wanted to test was if the game was going to give me some snarky message for getting 0. That's what I wanted. I wanted to get 0. But by waiting there at the oh, and here look at the Cheetah. It's flipped over and it's not going to catch fire. I've never seen this before. I also wanted to see what was going to happen with the driver. It turns out he just stands there. Even if you punch him, he doesn't fight back. He's just going to stand there. And real weird to see an upside down car not catching fire. Officer, I'm just trying to perform lab experiments here. Could you please don't punch me. Definitely don't punch this guy. He's not doing anything to anyone. He's just part of the experiment. Oh, this is police brutality. Look at this gang. And then the officer, I think, is gonna make me kick this guy. All right. Yeah. So that was weird to see them kind of broken down there. Okay, here I tried to get a tie, and look, it's a mission fail. Joint first with 7 successful checkpoints. Good, but you got to be the best to drive for Queen Lizzie. Again, Queen Lizzie, we think, is the girlfriend of King Courtney. I don't even know why she's mentioned there, but anyway, tie is not going to be good enough to win. All right, here my dream is to ride on the other vehicles. Look at me sliding off, like I'm trying to stand on here, and even if with them not moving, I can't stay on here. Like I just slide off immediately. All I want is a ride. That's it. I'm just looking for an Uber, maybe Lyft, whatever. Just give me a ride. But for whatever reason, these vehicles seem to be programmed in that you slide off of them, even if they're not moving. Okay. So I I think we're gonna bail out on that one. But to get that tie with seven was also quite challenging. It took a lot of attempts. What I did, so it's 15 checkpoints, and so I wanted to tie. Oh, here I accidentally got into the adrenaline pill. I didn't mean to grab that, but then I was like, all right, maybe I can hop on. I can live the dream and get a ride. Just please, anybody, it's like fuel efficient for us to carpool. Can somebody just let me get on for just a little bit? Just take me. We're all going in the same direction towards those checkpoints. But look, it's magic. If you have the adrenaline pill, you can stay on. I'm not like walking around to try to stay on. I'm just here. It's amazing. I'm living the dream. I'm gonna give this guy a big tip in the app at the end of this ride. That's fantastic. Okay, but it is kind of slow to watch the adrenaline pill do its thing, so we are gonna fast forward through the adrenaline, which is kind of funny. And then once the adrenaline wears off, you'll see that I fall off almost immediately. Sadly, our ride is over, but it was fun while it lasted. And if I destroyed the other vehicle, I don't think I'm obligated to leave a tip. So that saved me $5 at the end of the Uber ride. Okay, next thing I think we're going to demonstrate what happens when you have a wanted level and try to start the mission. So we're going to see that star temporarily disappear. There it is. I think we're going to fast forward through this cutscene here, and then we'll see that the star gets reinstated as soon as the race begins. This might be universally true throughout the GTA 3 missions. When you can start with a wanted star and there's a cutscene, the wanted star just pauses and then comes back. And also note that I can't move for about 2 seconds at the start of the race. That is consistent through all of my attempts. And here you are seeing me make another save by the phone because I accidentally deleted my save by the phone. So I had to go back to the airport and fly over here and then make a new save, just showing that to you so that you see the different save time. And here is that different save time again, the save file you just saw, with a lot of failed attempts in between. And now my final attempt at this mission. So let me explain what my goal was, the challenge that I laid out for myself to pass this thing officially in this playthrough is I wanted to get all 15 checkpoints. And I know that you could easily do it by blowing up the other three vehicles. I don't think you could blow up all three of the vehicles at the start. So probably what I would do if I wanted to blow up the other three vehicles is start the race, collect the first checkpoint at the basically like a U-turn from where I am on this road, go to the end of this road, and then make a U-turn there, and then just blow up the other three vehicles that are, as they come at me. Either with the M16 or with the rocket launcher. I think I could do that within the first couple of attempts and then just leisurely gather the other 14 checkpoints. But I didn't want to do that. So decided I wasn't going to shoot any bullets at the other vehicles here. And I also decided I wasn't going to intentionally try to nudge them into a place where they'd get stuck. If it happens they got stuck on their own, then, like I'll take it. It'll make my life easier. But I didn't want to do that either. And so this right here is my best attempt at the challenge. And I'll just point out that my strategy, like you're going to see me oftentimes in this particular playthrough here, you're going to see me like waiting like right by a checkpoint. And what I'm doing is what I mentioned before. I'm trying to gather all of these guys together. And I know they're all coming towards a checkpoint. And so I want to get all the checkpoints, obviously. But if I can keep them all grouped together, even as they kind of spread out, if I can regroup them together, then I'll minimize the chances that I get in a position where I grab a checkpoint and then the next checkpoint spawns close to where one of these other guys is, far away from me, right? If I let them get spread out, then that increases the chances that a random checkpoint will be close to one of them, and then I can't get it because I'm not close to one of them. So that's what you'll see me do. And this attempt right here took many, many, many tries. And like I said, this is my best one. Okay, so while we're doing our final attempt at this, let's read from the wiki some more about King Courtney. So where are we now? Here. Okay, so I was saying that he is a main character and the secondary antagonist in GTA Advance, so apparently a quite large role. We only see him in these 4 missions here. And in GTA Advance, he is seen physically as opposed to here where we just hear him. We'll never actually see him in this game. King Courtney is the leader of the Jamaican Uptown Yardies gang. We took out a bunch of the Yardies in a rampage, the grenade one right by the fire station here on Staunton. In GTA 3, Courtney gives jobs via payphone. Courtney was voiced by Walter Mudu, and it says here that let's see, Mudu's appeared in TV shows such as Johnny Zero, NYC 22, Blue Bloods, Law and Order SVU, and he provided the voices in GTA 3 of both King Courtney and D Ice, a character that we'll meet at the final set of phone missions over on Shoreside Vale, many missions from now. Also in The Lost and the Damned and GTA Online, this actor plays does the voice of Malk, another character there. Okay, so let's see here. Reading some more about our boy King Courtney. Okay, so I'm not going to read the GTA Advanced part of it, part of the wiki and the history. But in GTA 3, Courtney is still a leader of Yardies. He assigns clawed jobs from Staunton Island, operating from a payphone near Liberty campus. The primary focus of his jobs are mostly related to attacks against rival gangs. And then I won't read about the coming missions, but anyway, we got 4 missions altogether. This is the first of the 4, and this will be the next few videos for us. Is just working through all of King Courtney's missions here on Staunton. You can see I'm really waiting a long time, just like trying to lure as many cars as I can close to me. And I know the next one here is going to go, it's just going to be like a U-turn to the left across the grass here. Like that's always the order of these two. And so many times one of the other vehicles got this one, but we got it here, gang. We're doing it. Okay, and like I mentioned, King Courtney only appears in these 4 missions here in GTA 3, but in GTA Advance, it looks like 5 missions he's a part of. He's the boss for 4 of them. He's betrayed in one of them, defeated in one of them. Spoilers. Okay, and so I think that, yeah, right, yeah, I think that's about it for King Courtney. And I mentioned the Jamaican street slang not being directly translated, but in particular, like the name of this mission is Bling-Bling Scramble. Bling, I guess, is street slang for money or jewels or something like that, valuables. And maybe it's just money, I don't know, just cash. But anyway, like in the transcription, it said each checkpoint gets you $1,000, but what King Courtney actually said is each checkpoint gets you the bling, and so Bling Bling Scramble is the name because of that. So here, in my best and final attempt at this, all 3 of the other vehicles put themselves out of commission. Like I'm looking at the last one here. Like this guy would have had a chance to get this northernmost checkpoint if he hadn't just like driven himself straight into a wall. So I didn't have anything to do with that, but I was happy he took care of it himself. So here we are in the final straightaway, 1 checkpoint left to get, and then we will get all 15. That's right, we got all 15 without shooting, without destroying any of the other folks. But let me tell you, it took a long time, a lot of attempts at this. I think probably 25 minutes of fails, not like doing the full mission. Like if I didn't get the 4th checkpoint, then I would just immediately start over. But it took a long, long time to eventually get this attempt. Real happy to have it. So we're just going to head back over to the phone icon because that's the next mission that we'll do in the next video, and then I will save, and then we'll call this video done. Yeah, pretty fun mission. I like this one. I'll rate it in a couple of videos, but this is a fun mission. Okay, so here's our save, and we're done for this mission and this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you real soon.